Y'all, do you realize that many families are overspending on their grocery budget each week and they really have no idea that they're doing it? Well, friends, today I'm going to share with you my easy, simple, and realistic tips that will help you save hundreds on your grocery budget each month. Hi everyone, thanks for joining me here at Finance Working Mama. My name is Heather. If you are here because you are stressed out and you need to save money and you need to figure out how to save money and still feed your family healthy, delicious foods on a budget, we've come to the right place. Today I want to break down my favorite grocery saving strategies that you can implement in your lifestyle without causing chaos or stress. And they're simple and they're easy, from building a pantry, from meal planning, and just shopping smarter. Friends, the number one tip, and the number one tip I continue to preach, is you have to build a pantry. A pantry provides you flexibility. It provides you an ease that you can always go to your pantry or to your freezer and pull things out and make dinner for your family without having to be stressed to run out to buy something. 2.5 years ago, I decided that I needed to build back a pantry. Before I built back my pantry, I was spending close to $200 to $250 a week on my family of 4. And I didn't go out and immediately start spending $300 on building back a pantry. I did it over a course of 6 months. And in 6 months, I built a pretty substantial pantry. My kids will call it a mini grocery store. And it might be. How I accomplished building back my pantry is I took $10 of my grocery spending budget for that week and I spent it only on pantry items to restock my pantry. Now, how did I know what I needed to put in my pantry? I first started off with making a list of all the items in my pantry, in my freezers, that I had already in hand. And I gave away the items, which was a small amount of food, that I knew we were never going to eat. I needed to get them out and give it to someone that was going to utilize them. Once I had an understanding of what I already had, then I sat down and then I made a list of all the canned vegetables, frozen vegetables, canned items, pantry items like pastas, rice, things that I know that I should buy to put in my pantry, ingredients, spices, all of the things that I know I'm going to use to make meals, and started with the base of those are the items I needed to focus on in buying and put in my pantry. Once you've established what you want to put in your pantry that you know your family will eat and that you can put a meal together, then you want to start looking at the sales papers and catch when they are on sale. Because obviously if you have $10 allocated for it, you want to make sure you're trying to spend your money wisely. By accomplishing this in small pieces where you're only focusing on maybe I'm going to buy pasta this week for my $10, you'll have that. You will slowly build back a pretty substantial pantry in a very small amount of time. And keep in mind, focus on foods that you know your family is going to eat. Over time, this is going to provide you so much flexibility because you don't have to worry about what am I going to make tonight, or my meal plan fell through. What am I going to do? Well, that's easy, friends. All you have to do is go to your pantry. It's going to save you money in long term, and it's going to provide you so much less stress. Now, there's also the 80-20 rule that I always try to stick to. 80% of the time when I go shopping weekly, I'm only going to buy things that are on sale. Now, of course, 20% of the time, it's going to be things that we just need, or fresh items like bread or cheese or whatever, just things that I need and I can't necessarily wait to when they go on sale. Sticking to that 80-20 rule really helps save money. It puts things in perspective that I'm just going to have to buy certain things because I need them, but focusing really diligently on 80% of the time of that budget on sales and sales items only. And friends, keep in mind, only buy, again, things you know your family will eat. Don't buy it because it's the sake that it's on sale. Buy it because it's on sale and you know your family's going to eat it. And number 3, friends, we know we have to do this, but how many times do we actually do it? and that is meal planning. So before you even look at the sales papers or any of the ads, you first need to look where you have already what I call free stuff that you've paid for. You've already paid for it, but it's essentially not going to hurt your budget or go into your budget for the following week. And that is what you have already in your refrigerator and freezer that needs to be used up. And you can start there and incorporate that into your meal plan in the following week. And of course, shop your pantry. And then once you figure out what you have on hand already, then you can move forward on looking at the sales papers to see what you can incorporate from what you can buy on sale for those items that you found already in your freezer and refrigerator and pantry to complete a meal. This one particular habit and strategy will seriously save you tons of money over a course of a month and a year. Tip number 4 is make a list. Now, we get told that all the time is to make a list. However, how often do we make a list? And if we make that list, how often do we stick to that list? And most importantly, I always stick to my list, because that is how you waste money, is that you go into the store and you impulse buy because you don't stick to your list. Now, on an occasion, you might put your buggy through, in the South we call it the buggy through the store, and you notice ranch that your family loves, that you're about to run out of, that you didn't see it in the sales paper, but it's actually on sale and it's cheaper than at the Walmart or Aldi, which is my lowest cost stores to shop at. And you think, it's on sale. We only have a third of a bottle left, so I'm going to go ahead and buy it. That is what probably would go on the 90-10 rule. 10% of the time, you might catch something that is on sale that you didn't know it was on sale and that you know you will need it, and it's not on the list. So I say stick to the list, but if you go off the list, make sure it's something you actually need and that you're actually going to use and it's actually on sale. Number 5, shop the sales and know the sales cycles. So I'm going to give you an example that just occurred. We were at a lacrosse tournament in Raleigh, North Carolina, and I needed to go get cups and ice and like 1 or 2 other things. And I needed to get it fast and I needed to get back to the field. So the closest shopping store was Food Lion, and I am an MVP shopper, which is their like shopping card. And so I get my items, I go and check out, put my MVP number in, and it spits out a ton of coupons. And I thought, oh my goodness, sometimes those coupons are nothing that I'll ever use, and I just leave the coupons there. But looking at it, it was like $5 off on your next $25 purchase, $2 off on your next $5 purchase on anything in the meat department. And I thought, oh my goodness, they really want me to come back and shop. Because to be fair, I hadn't been there in quite a long time. I need to go grocery shopping, and I was going to use those coupons. So I was hoping that when I opened the sales paper, I was going to see a lot of things that we would actually need to purchase or stock the pantry or buy things for the week ahead of us. And thankfully, I hit the jackpot. Food Lion had all the veggies that we love and all the fruit that we love on sale. And not only were they on sale, but they were still better priced than my lowest cost grocery store, which is Aldi and Walmart. And then I had the coupons to make it even cheaper. So simply looking at the sales papers, looking to see if they have items that you would actually use and that would fill your pantry, your freezers, and your refrigerator. And I'm very fortunate that in my town, less than probably a half a mile from everything, maybe a mile, I have 5 grocery stores. And so I could easily run in and pick something up fairly quickly, and I don't have to travel all the way around town or make a special trip to actually get the sale item. Understanding the sales cycles, that is an important key. I can tell you right now, we're going to 4th of July. The next couple weeks, you're going to see a ton of sales on barbecue items, barbecue sauce, ketchup, mayo, mustard, all things that would go on a wonderful 4th of July picnic, watermelon, cantaloupe, veggies, lettuce, hamburger buns, all the things that you would need for a barbecue is going to go on sale. And that is when you want to take that $10 extra and stock up on those items. Another example of understanding the sales cycle, in my area, I have a Harris Teeter, which is a Kroger branded store. They always have Campbell's soup on sale once a month, a really good sale once a month in the fall and winter. And there's a particular Campbell's soup that my children will only eat, and I like to stock up when they have that on sale. They'll have a really good sale where you have buy one, get one free, which still makes it cheaper than Walmart, or they'll have buy two, get three free. That's the jackpot. I go in and I really stock up on that particular soup. So just understand, when you're looking at those sales weekly ads, you'll start to see a trend on when things go on sale. And friends, let's just be honest. We are in 2026. Use Copilot or GP Chat and ask, what items are you going to find on sale or better price in the month of July? You'd be surprised what it spits out, and it will tell you exactly what vegetables and what produce or fruits that you should be buying, because they're all going to be on sale. Use your freezer as a tool. A freezer can be such a powerful tool in your kitchen in saving money. And I get it. I was that family that did not have a garage a freezer, and I had really not the largest freezer for a very long time, but I tried to use my freezer to eliminate a lot of the stuff that I wasn't ever going to use and really make sure I was stocking it with things that I needed. So that small area freezer I had, I utilized it wisely. Now, also, you can use your freezer as a key to not have food waste in the sense of leftovers. Now, if I make a 9x13 casserole or a 9x13 dish, my family of 4 is probably going to eat half of that, and then I'll have the other half for later. However, if I know by looking at the family schedule and knowing that we're going to be out of the house and I need to carry a cold salad instead of a hot meal because we're going to be outside the house, and my husband and I are not going to come home for lunches because we have lunch meetings, I know that probably in 3 to 4 days, we're not going to eat the other half of that casserole. So friends, I'm going to pack it up, label it, and put it in the freezer before it spoils so that I'll have it for another day, another week, part of my meal planning, and I'm not wasting my money. Also, the freezer is a great tool of portioning things out. You know, when you find chicken breast, family packs on sale, chicken drums, chicken thighs, even hamburger, sausage, and they come in bulk packs, and you get it for such a great deal, get some freezer bags, portion them out, label them and date them. Don't forget that. So that way you're using the older before the new, and stick it in your freezer. That is going to save you so much cash in weeks to come. Number 7 is stack your savings. And what do I mean by that? Well, of course you have your store sales. And I'll give you an example in reference to what happened to me recently at Food Lion. So I get a bunch of coupons out. I look at the sales paper. I see that they have a ton of things that my family eats that are some really good price. And not only am I getting it at a really good price on sale, but I also have these coupons and a layer on top of it, which is going to give me even more savings. It provides me more food for my dollars that I'm budgeting for the grocery week. So for example, at Food Lion, instead of spending like $140 on the items I was purchasing, I actually spent $90. Great sale. Kroger branded stores like Harris Teeter in my area, they have the EVIC coupons, manufacturing coupons, and then typically whatever they have on sale in their sales paper or items, they will also have an EVIC for an additional price. So if they have, for instance, Barilla pasta the other week was buy one, get one free. And then I also had $1 off of 2 packages of Barilla pasta. So I ended up buying Barilla pasta cheaper than my lowest cost store, Aldi or Walmart, and it was actually cheaper than the store brand. It was a win-win. So stack your savings. Buy things on sale, find the coupons, layer them on, equals awesome, awesome savings. Tip number 8, friends, is cook more and buy less processed foods. So you're not just paying for the food. You're paying for the convenience. And convenient food is typically not always the healthiest food for you. I think we got in our mind that a hamburger helper box and a hamburger, we can put a meal together quicker than making it ourselves. And that is totally not true. If you have a stocked pantry and you have the ingredients, you can put that meal together at the same time as using the box and browning the meat. I promise you. And if you haven't already subscribed to my channel, you should, because I will share with you guys a multitude of family-friendly, budget-friendly, healthy recipes that will come together so quickly on those busy nights. Tip number 9, guys, I'm going to say it, and that is leftover night. And what I mean by leftovers, it doesn't necessarily have like the leftovers that you've had from dinners prior. It's whatever is in that refrigerator or that freezer. And what I mean is you pull everything out and you ask, who wants the leftover pasta dish? Who wants the leftover rice dish? Who wants tacos from the other night? Or if you don't like any of that, I've got deli meat. I can make you a sandwich, or I can make you a quesadilla. Quick things that you can throw together. I have even made egg sandwiches for dinner one night, because guess what? We had eggs, that was quick. We had veggies and fruit, and that is what my kids wanted. Simple, easy, and it was already in the refrigerator to use. So it doesn't necessarily mean that you have to eat the leftovers that you've made, because sometimes you have a recipe that you eat it all up and you don't have leftovers. But I assure you, friends, I assure you that if you opened up your refrigerator and your freezer, you could easily put a meal together. Maybe it's not something for everyone in the family. Maybe it's a couple different things that each family member could eat because they like that better than the other. So just bake in one night for a leftover night. Tip number 10. Now, I'm going to say this and you're like, yeah, I know that already. Never go to the grocery store when you're hungry. And I think we probably all do a better job of that, knowing not to do that. But keep in mind, do not do that because you will buy things that you should not be buying. And you are surprised how those 1 or 2 items can blow your budget. But the other thing you should never do, and that is go into the grocery store when you are rushed, because you're going to throw a bunch of things into your cart. You're going to forget half the things you probably need, and you don't have a list, and you're not sticking to your list. So then you get home, you've overspent on groceries, and then you realize, I really don't have anything here that I could put a meal together. Because why? You're rushed in, you threw a bunch of things in the cart, thinking that, oh, I can make a meal out of this, and then at the end, you can't make a meal out of it. So please, number 10, tip 10, do not go to the grocery store when you're hungry or when you're rushed. Friends, I want to share with you my grocery haul from Food Line this past week, so that way you can see sort of how I shopped. Now, keep in mind, I mentioned earlier in the video that I had gotten a good list of great coupons, and then I looked on their sales paper for the week and I noticed that they had really great sales on things that my family will actually eat. So not only did I get it cheaper than my lowest cost grocery store, which is Aldi and Walmart, but I also got paid less money because I had coupons on top of that. Friends, this is my shopping grocery haul for the week. These are all the items that were on sale. I don't think I bought anything that, well, actually, no, I did buy that half and half. It was a few cents more than what I'd pay at Aldi, but I figure I didn't need to go to Aldi this week, so I just grabbed the half and half. But everything else that you see on this table was on sale. So let's just start. These were on sale. I had quit drinking the bubbly waters just because I just didn't like them anymore. However, I had one of these and fell in love with them. They had a great sale on this, 3 for $12, and they had some really great flavors, so I went and grabbed those. I had a coupon for a 2-pack, $2 off. This actually, and it was on MVP sale. It was actually cheaper to buy it with the coupon than getting it at Walmart, and they actually have these on rollback this week. So great deal on that. We love this ranch, and they didn't have it advertised, but it was actually on sale as well. So I grabbed some more ranch. And these smoked sausages, I love these, especially this brand in particular, because they do the skinless, and I just prefer the skinless, and so does my girls. So that was buy two, I think, for $5. There was great price on that. I had a coupon for $2 off from the meat department. Apologize, I have a dog that's drinking some water. That's the noise. But I had a $2 off meat department coupon if I spent $5 or more. And they had these on sale. And this cut of meat is sort of hard to always get through my, like, the Butcher Box and the Good Chop companies that I buy from. So I picked that up. They had the small watermelons, they call it personal watermelons, on sale. They're usually like $5 to $6 when you can find them. They had these on sale for like $3 and some change. So I picked two up, put them in the refrigerator, and they'll last me a good while for the next month. They had a cantaloupe on sale, $1 and some change, 99 cents lettuce here. And right now, iceberg is sort of the favorite for our girls. In summertime, for whatever reason, we enjoy iceberg on a lot of things. 99 cents. I'll put one in the refrigerator for next week, and it will last me 2 weeks, mainly because they're in really good shape now, and if you store them properly, they'll last 2 to 3 weeks in your refrigerator. These were on sale as well, and I haven't seen this brand in a long time. I actually really like it. It was actually cheaper than the Aldi deli sliced roast beef. So I got this. My husband's gonna love having this, but I got 2 packages of these. These were also on sale. This was cheaper than the Aldi house brand, and so I got Black Forest as well as turkey breast. This will last me a couple weeks. They have cherries on sale, and friends, in North Carolina, cherries are expensive. So when I find them on sale, I buy them because my husband loves them. So this was on sale at Food Lion, and these were on sale as well. So I got a package of those, and they had their broccoli crowns on sale. They were cheaper than Walmart and Aldi. So I got a huge bag, and this will last me for at least 2 weeks because we eat a lot of broccoli. In my fridge, if I store it correctly in my fridge. And then they also had, it's not quite corn season in North Carolina yet, but we're sort of feeling some corn. They had 3 ears for $1, so I went ahead and bought 3. Potatoes were on sale here, $1.99 for a 5-pound bag of russet potatoes. When they go on sale, I always try to buy it. So friends, this was my purchase, my grocery purchase for the week. And it cost me $90.61. And that is, let's see, that is with the tax. Tax was $2.33. And what I liked about it is it does show what I made for the total savings. It's $42.82. But keep in mind that I had all those coupons. So $5 off purchase of $25 more or more, $2 off meat, $5 or more, $2 off produce with $5 more purchase. And then I had 2 other coupons for the toothpaste as well as, and I don't know where it went. So the Dove. My daughter has requested this. She loves this brand. As you know, deodorant's expensive, but it's a necessity. I always try to just buy the deodorant that's on sale. She wanted this. I had a coupon for it, and it was on MVP plus my $2 coupon, and that just made it very affordable. It's usually like $7, almost $8. I ended up getting it for like $4. So friends, those are all the items I bought, and you wondered, like, what are you going to do with that? It seems sort of like random. You have lots of fruits and vegetables. You have 1 thing of meat, but like, how is that going to put a meal plan for you, Heather? Well, that's a very good question, and it goes back to the exact tips that I provided you guys earlier in the video, and that is I have built a pantry. I make my meal plan for what I have in my refrigerator, freezers, and pantry. in the mindset that I am not going to the grocery store. That is my mindset. So typically everything that I have on my meal plan, I already have in my pantries. So that in itself is a great thing. I go to the grocery store to buy sales items to continue to build on my pantry, in my freezer, in my refrigerator. So I might not necessarily use them that week. For instance, the iceberg lettuce, we use a lot of it. I got a really good quality. They look fresh. I know that iceberg, and kept properly and stored properly, I can keep iceberg in my refrigerator for 2 to 3 weeks. And so that's already in my refrigerator, and I just need to utilize it throughout the weeks to come. In that one shopping haul, I used all the 10 tips. I meal planned. I looked at what we had in the refrigerator, freezers. I meal planned first. I looked at all the sales papers. I wrote and made a list of the items that I only was going to purchase. I used coupons to ensure that I was stacking up my savings, and I was continue to build my pantry, freezers, and refrigerator so that I could have cost savings through months to come. And as you can see, friends, I only spent $90 for my week's groceries. And I'm going to use some of that for this week, like some of the fresh fruits and maybe the vegetables. But a lot of that I want to go use in weeks ahead because I've learned how to stock a pantry. I've learned how to keep foods fresh in the freezer and refrigerator, and that saves me for months ahead. Now, I do include household products, toilet tissue cleaning products, personal products. I do include that into my grocery budget. I don't isolate them. I don't separate them out. So yes, that $90, all of that, what you saw in that purchase will go into what I spent for that week. Now, typically I have allotted myself about $125 a week, maybe $135 to spend on groceries. On the average, I spend typically $100 or less. In some weeks, only $60 to $50 because the sales aren't that great, or mostly it's because the sales aren't that great, or I just really don't need to spend money because we have plenty of stuff already on hand that really needs to be used up. The average American family, I think, spends around $200 to $250 a week on grocery, and that's today's time. $200 to $250, and if you have a much bigger family, it could be up to $300. That is just, in my mind, incredible. But it can be reduced if you follow the tips. So I encourage you, take 1 or 2 tips, like maybe start to build your pantry and meal planning, utilizing what you already have on hand, and then meal planning. I guarantee you'll start to see immediate savings in your grocery budget each week. Let me know in the comments below what habit or 2 habits that you're going to implement starting today. Would love to know. And if you have any other tips that I didn't mention today, please put those in the comments below. This is a helpful community, and I want all of us to learn, and most importantly, all of us to save money. And friends, if you want more videos like this, meaning to how to manage your household budget to save money and still have a happy family at the end of dinner time, please subscribe, and I will have many more to come. Friends, thank you so much for joining me here at Finance Working Mama. Make sure you stay safe and most importantly, stay encouraged.